Alright, so before we continue, just to stop you here, we have an awesome giveaway going on where you can win a game of your choice. Thank you to Instant Gaming. All you need to do is click the link in the description below. But on top of that, these guys do a bunch of really cool Marvel games that literally cost hardly anything. These games are so cheap alongside a bunch of different games. You can pre-order Marvels Avengers on there. There's a bunch of Avengers stuff and Spider-Man as well. And the prices are absolutely insane. You can save yourself a ton. Check them out. The link is in the description below and enter the giveaway. What is going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So I have a very special guest today. Who is he?
He is a guy who is pretty much making up one half of the unofficial, should be official marketing team for Marvels Avengers.
The unofficial marketing team, I guess that's kind of what we're rolling with. So first of all, before we do dive into the video, I have also done a video with RBG, so do go ahead and check him out. The link will be in the description. You can also see the stuff that we spoke about, which is about the marketing. But today, I thought I'd get him on in this video to actually discuss a list of free roam must-haves. So we're talking about gameplay features, the elements, the core things that you basically go back to a game to play after you've completed the campaign, right? That's the most important thing. So this is their Square Enix. This is all. So I want to start off with a few things. First of all, I mean, me and RBG, we were talking about war zones prior to recording this, and we of course know that war zones are big, right? It's safe to say war zones are big. The extent to how much we can free roam within those, I guess we don't really know. But we know it's big, so that's always a pro. Now, I want to start off by getting your feedback, RBG, on what really makes you go back to a game, especially after you've completed the story mode.
Well, firstly, you have to worry about the presentation. You know, what's going to make me go back is like how exhilarating it felt during my first playthrough of a mission, like with all the different things, you know, like the action sequences and the way something was. And it kind of makes you want to go back and execute it, you know, see how well you can execute it the second time around. And then you have like the different waypoints. Are they going to have like one linear set point, like, you know, the Eidos trailer, which is obviously a tutorial, you know, that's pretty much just a demonstration of how these characters are going to play. But yeah, that's, and seeing if they're going to like introduce certain concepts that we see in some of the Ultimate Alliance games, like, oh, this area is blocked off because you don't have this set ability. If you don't have the Hulk, you can't break apart this big boulder that's blocking this waypoint. Things like that are going to add a lot of replayability. I have a hard time saying that word. Replayability, you know, that's what I want to see.
No, I agree with you. For me, I think the one thing that I really want to see, and this is something that I know a lot of people really feel 50-50 on and so forth, but we know microtransactions are going to be a thing in this game. And like I said, I know people get super touchy about that. But also, we know that this game is going to have photo mode. Now, the reason why I'm linking these two things together is from my personal experience, and I know you, RBG, were a big fan of the Spider-Man PS4 game.
Oh boy, yes.
Insomniac absolutely smashed the photo mode, right? It was as realistic as it possibly could get in our time. And I think that gave the opportunity to go back and recreate certain things, right? I'm talking recreate movie posters, movie scenes, etc, etc. So when I talk about microtransactions and the whole customization aspect of things, it's really about being able to kind of recreate things, right? So unlock, well, maybe having to purchase a skin that is a movie skin or whatever it may be, right? To then be able to recreate a really great scene. For example, maybe it was something in, let's say, the Avengers Endgame, right? For example, maybe let's just say Iron Spider-Man is there and you want to do something with him and Iron Man together. I think that's something, that's kind of a unique element that I feel that Spider-Man PS4 initially introduced, that now will kind of go down into this Avengers game. And I don't know if you see on Reddit, and it was something I was discussing a couple of videos back, there was a dude that recreated the Civil War poster with Iron Man.
Oh yes, I saw that. I saw that you posted that in your community tab.
Yeah.
I think. That was
incredible,
nice.
Right?
It was.
That's amazing. And that's with purely what we've seen so far. So imagine if that dude, for example, had the actual tools of the photo mode that we're going to see, how realistic that could be. And I think things like that really do make a game fun and unique, and it's just one of those random things that's not really to do with the gameplay aspect, but is in some type of way. But something that you kind of just want to turn your PlayStation, Xbox, whatever it may be on, and be like, hey, I want to attempt to do this, right? I want to be able to try and recreate this. It's something unique in video games to an extent, I feel, at this moment in time. Customization as a whole, for me, is the big thing.
Oh, definitely. Like, customization is what everybody, they crave that in pretty much any kind of video game. It doesn't matter what genre it's in. It's like just having the ability to tailor a certain character to your liking and the way they play.
We know another thing. Well, it's interesting to know that this game is global. Saying a map off a game is global is such a big statement to make, in my opinion. We know that we can explore the ocean. Well, not explore the ocean, but the ocean / underwater map is a thing. But one thing that's interesting, two things, is location and how they are going to work space as well. Because that's something that we've really not seen in terms of actual gameplay. We've seen gameplay that's technically underwater, even if it was in some type of dome of some kind, it clearly was underwater. But I really want to see how they're going to work space.
Yeah, it's like when you hear about space, you think about all the people that they have aboard on the development staff. Like, you hear how they have people who actually worked on a space game in the form of Dead Space. And that's instantly what comes to mind when I saw Iron Man hovering around in space in his Star Boost armor. Like Isaac, I always thought, maybe they can use some of the mechanics that they learned about in Dead Space to, help Iron Man, navigate through space and stuff like that,
I agree. And that's something that I think will get a lot of people very excited. But I guess besides that, so we're talking customization so far, we're talking locations, right? See, I mean, let's be honest, right? Back at least when I was a child, and I'm sure, again, you can relate to this, graphics were terrible. They were really, really bad, right? But back then, although they were bad, I mean, it was great to us, right? But I really always strongly believe that we're in an era where, yeah, graphics is still kind of important to an extent, of course, because you kind of have a pixelated game. It's very much the density of a game, right? How much, I mean, it's all about the gameplay. I've always said gameplay over graphics by a long shot. Always, every single time I would tick that box. Purely because you can have a game that looks absolutely fantastic, but the gameplay is very, very bland and boring and repetitive. Or you can have a game that looks half decent, but the gameplay and the limits are also the sky is the limit. So you kind of jump into a game and you're able to do all these kind of things that your imagination kind of desires, if that makes sense. But the final thing that I really wanted to mention is characters that will be added after launch. And the reason why I say this is important, I know a character that you're excited for, probably Hawkeye, right?
Oh yeah, gotta have us some good old Hawkeye.
There you go. That is a must-have. Then of course we got Black Panther, right? And then it would be Spider-Man. If you were to say top 3, maybe that would probably be my list anyway.
Yeah, it's like I want Spider-Man, but I'm not gonna hold my breath.
You kind of see where I'm going with this, right? Is how many characters are they going to add after this? Because they've already said that we're going to get new regions after this as well, after the release date, after the launch. So there's going to be new regions, new characters, etc.
Like, the most likely scenario that I can get from all of this is that they already have these characters made with their own AI, but they aren't necessarily playable. It's like the same thing we've seen for a recent game. I'm not sure if you're into beat 'em ups, but you ever heard of Streets of Rage?
Yeah, I kind of.
Yeah, they have certain characters that are, OGs, but they aren't available. They're not playable, but they have their own AIs. Like, if that's a way that they want to implement it to allude to them having them playable down the line, that's the way I would like to see them. I just want to get my hands on this character, even though he's just assisting me and it's just an AI. I can see this character being fun to play with.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, hey, look, this game is all about Avengers assembling. So characters that haven't yet been announced that are in the Avengers have to be in the game at some point.
Just want to say too, regarding the graphics, people who say this game looks like a mobile like game or whatever, they need to get their eyes checked. This is a gorgeous game. It's running off the same engine. Like, I had one person say, "Oh, I can't believe Crystal Dynamics does this." You know, they're known for making beautiful games. You know, like, why doesn't this game have the same level of quality as the Tomb Raider games? But they don't realize that it's made from the same engine. It's made from the Foundation engine.
Just actually to quickly touch up on that before I wrap this video up, there is one fear that I have that I don't know how they would work around. This game is coming out on current gen consoles, right? So the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC, of course, being... PC is always essentially going to be a dominator in a sense, because you can essentially overhaul the graphics and so forth, no matter how old the game is, to an extent. You can add mods into the game, etc. But I mean, I think there needs to be something going on. I mean, actually, to give you an example, right, it's a game that's completely off topic. However, it's a game that kind of released within the same sort of similar time frame. So we're talking about GTA 5, right? How GTA 5 was on the PS3 and then how GTA 5 was on the PS4. Are they going to have to kind of work with something like that as well, in terms of what they're limited to now, but wouldn't be limited to on the next gen consoles?
Right. That is something that, you know, you should wonder about, because we're already at the tail end of this current gen's life cycle, and to see how they're going to handle things down the line, it makes it more interesting. You know, how they're going to go about expanding the content in this world that's said to be, you know, this long-term thing for years to come, you know. If
Rockstar done it, I'm sure they could do it. It's just something that, if I was developing the game, would probably worry about to an extent. But hey, I've never made a game, so I'll never know these answers. But that being said, that's going to wrap up this video. So, RBG, I really want to thank you for actually taking your time on to come and share your thoughts on this as well. I know you and I are both very passionate about this game being successful in general, because it's such a fantastic... it looks like a fantastic name, but it's already big before it's released. It's the Avengers.
Yeah,
it doesn't get bigger than that.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest top sellers at the box office. It's like ahead of pop culture now, you know. So it has a lot of, you know, credibility to it, at least behind the name of Marvel, and we just want to see it. You know, we want to see this vision that they have come to life, because we've kind of been hyping it up since that trailer that came out, you know.
God, the teaser trailer?
Yeah, the teaser trailer. Back when they were talking about how it was just going to be this huge assembly of all the popular talents within the gaming community, you know, just coming together to develop this game.
That trailer was painful, because that was the one trailer we saw. We probably saw that more than the A-Day gameplay, didn't we?
We did. We did. We didn't get that follow-up for 2018 like we were promised either.
Give or take 100 days away from the game. So... fingers crossed, this is going to be a big game. But again, thank you very much, RBG, for joining me. Please do go ahead and check him out. The link is in the description below. He also makes Avengers video games videos.
Oh, shucks. You're making me blush. I'm turning purple over here.
But they're not as good. This is kind of a disclaimer.
Right.
All jokes aside, they're amazing. So do go ahead and check him out. We are trying to be the marketing team, but we can only do so much because we've not really got the game ourselves yet. At least I haven't. RBG may have the game and may secretly be a Marvel insider. We'll never know.
I'm about to play it right now.
Guys, until the next video, have yourselves a ridiculously amazing day, and adios amigos.
Adios.